Welcome back in to the live desk. I'm Katie Byrd. This evening I am joined with Chandler Watkins. Chandler, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
The stadium debate continues yet again. Chandler, you have been covering this since the news dropped in the very beginning. So what's the latest?
Yeah, so yesterday, Kansas Senate President Ty Masterson announced that he was calling back a meeting for the Legislative Coordinating Council to potentially vote to push back the Star Bonds deadline that would allow the Chiefs and or Royals to potentially move over to Kansas. He says that this came after the Chiefs president reached out to him. He sent a letter to Masterson requesting for the deadline to be pushed back so the conversations could continue. And he, once again, is calling back legislators. There are several from our area who will be going back to have this discussion.
They're both trying to get something decided here. I would say within the next 60 to 90 days. I don't know that to be their timeline, but that's the impression I get from the conversations.
I do appreciate the fact that the legislature, the leadership is going to convene and reconsider the deadline. I already consider the Chiefs and the Royals Kansas teams. So, I want them to stay in the area. They want to come across to Kansas, we'll welcome them with open arms.
We presented a great opportunity for the Royals. I know conversations continue with the Chiefs. What will be done, but we'll make sure we keep building a great community long term.
Now you also just heard from Kansas Governor Laura Kelly and, of course, the one and only Mayor Q. But Chandler, those aren't the only leaders that have recently commented on this.
Yeah, Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe reacted to this news yesterday. He, in all honesty, didn't seem that worried. He says that this means that Missouri is still in the game. Now, I had the chance to speak to Kansas Senate President Ty Masterson today to just get a little more information about the conversations that he had with the teams. He said that he was grateful that the Chiefs sent a letter to him. He says that the Royals also requested for the deadline to be pushed back by phone. He says that Kansas has a lot to offer. He said in particular to the Chiefs, he says that they could get that dome stadium that could potentially bring the Super Bowl to Kansas. So we've heard a lot from elected officials, but we also wanted to hear from fans to get their reactions because there's been a lot of different, not only locations dropped, but a lot of different information that's come out over the last few months regarding this. So the Royals were taking on the Dodgers at the K today, so we headed down there to hear what fans had to think about where they potentially wanted to see the stadiums or if they wanted to see the teams stay at Truman Sports Complex. Here's what they had to say.
I think the Chiefs gotta stay here. I've been coming here since I was a kid. I was here for the Bills game when we won in overtime. I think it wouldn't make any sense to move it anywhere else. This is the home of the Chiefs.
I think that the Chiefs should stay at Arrowhead and maybe expand in this parking lot, tear down Kauffman and expand here. And then I think the Royals should probably go to Kansas. And that spot at 119th and Knoll would be pretty good, I think, because there's a lot of land there. Or I think being in downtown, on the river, would be really cool as well, but I don't know if that'll happen.
I'd like it to stay in Kansas City, Missouri. I don't want it to go to Kansas. I would, for the nostalgia of it. I grew up in Kansas City my whole entire life, so it'd be weird, seeing it not here. But if it were to go anywhere, I'd still want it to stay in Kansas City.
I would be okay with a downtown stadium for the Royals. I think I've been out to St. Louis. It was a lot of fun out there. Downtown stadium would be a lot of fun, and I would love for the Chiefs to be able to stay here. Just Arrowhead, all the nostalgia, all the history. I would love for it to be able to stay here, and I would love a downtown stadium for the Royals.
I love them here. It is great. I've been coming here since I was a kid, and I love the area. If it were to move North Kansas City, I think you can't separate them. I think you have to. If you're moving one stadium, you got to move them both.
So clearly a lot of different opinions.
Exactly. And Chandler, I know you've spoken to a lot of fans and community members over the past weeks and months. What would you say is the overall feeling about this?
It honestly depends on who you ask. Some people are very excited that the conversation is continuing to happen. Others honestly say that they're kind of sick and tired of this. But when it comes to lawmakers, everyone still seems very optimistic that the teams are going to side in their favor. Of course, we're just going to have to wait and see.
And now you did say that there is an LCC meeting coming up. When will that be?
Yeah, Senator Masterson is calling back the Legislative Coordinating Council for July 7th. That meeting is going to take place at 2 p.m. I know we had a few questions about the Star Bonds deadline that it ends June 30th. So why are they having the meeting July 7th? I asked Masterson's office. His team told me that the law allows them to retroactively push back that deadline, and legally they have to give notice for the LCC meeting, and we're going to continue to follow those developments. I know that he said that if the LCC does vote to approve this, that the deadline will be pushed back 12 months. He says although that deadline will be pushed back for a year, they are going to be requesting that the teams give them a decision by the end of this year. But from what you heard Masterson say earlier, he believes from the conversations he's had with both teams, it seems like they might be making their decisions within the next 60 to 90 days.
Chandler, thank you for walking us through all of that. You know, this has not just been a simple story. There has been weeks and months of developments, and I really appreciate you walking me along with the Kansas City community through what could be happening next with the stadium debate.
Absolutely.
That is all we have for you on the live desk this evening. Have a great night.